Naeem has recently moved with his devoutly religious mother to a small town where nothing really holds his interest, except for Ryan, the boy next door, with whom Naeem quickly falls in love. When he sees Ryan with another young man, Naeem reports him to his parents, who seek help from a preacher known for his radical methods. Soon, both Ryan and Naeem find themselves stalked by an invisible monster that takes the form of the person they desire most. Over the past few years, Western horror has produced so many films built around metaphorical reinterpretations of real-world issues that the arrival of a queer horror movie feels almost inevitable. In fact, turning the persecution of gay people into a literal monster, sacrilegious as it may sound, practically writes itself. Leviticus writer-director Adrian Chiarella, himself openly gay, doesn't overcomplicate the concept. Instead, he reimagines it follows as a queer horror story in which fear itself becomes the weapon used to tear young lovers apart. The theme of homosexuality fits the film's mythology perfectly. The story explores the clash between nature and religion, the distrust of one's own family, and society's refusal to accept difference as something normal. Survival means running every time you see the face of the person you love, and staying surrounded by other people at all times. Because the moment you're alone, your thoughts inevitably drift back to your sinful desires, and that's when the situation can become deadly. The film is distributed by Neon, the leading independent distributor that has spent the last several years competing with A24 for the crown of genre cinema's premier tastemaker. Leviticus may not be the strongest card in Neon's deck, but it's undeniably a solid film, built according to the best traditions of modern indie horror. An original premise, charismatic performances, a director with a distinctive artistic voice, and confident command of the genre. The film looks terrific, and it's hard to imagine we won't be hearing much more from its two young leads, Joe Bird and Stacey Clausen. Chiarella also demonstrates an impressive command of atmosphere and suspense throughout. That said, the devil is in the details, and those details ultimately keep Levitt from joining the ranks of the genre's very best. The heavy-handed symbolism is one thing, that comes down to personal taste, but Chiarella should have thought through the rules of his supernatural concept more carefully. The ritual the protagonists are forced to undergo is clearly meant to cure them of their homosexuality, a metaphor spelled out even by the title, which references the biblical book most famously associated with condemnations of same-sex relationships. But the film repeatedly establishes that the creature pursuing you takes the form of the person you desire most. If that's true, then the curse would continue, even if, after the ritual, one of the boys genuinely fell in love with a woman. So what exactly is the ritual supposed to accomplish? Leviticus isn't always convincing when it comes to its internal logic, where ideas consistently take precedence over realism. The same weakness extends to more mundane aspects of the storytelling, particularly the finale, where a single flick of a lighter somehow ignites a massive blaze that arrives at the perfect moment to save the protagonist. Yes, complaints like these may sound nitpicky, but attention to detail is precisely what separates a merely good film from a great one. If something can't be justified, then either rethink it or distract the audience from it. But don't simply ignore it. That comes across less like artistic license and more like a lack of respect for the viewer.